think we're good now. Okay, I think we're good now. So sorry that was some struggle bus, but I'm Molly. I graduated class of 2015. Done that just so long ago. I had a wonderful time at Stetson and actually delivered food all over campus, which was super fun. So today we're going to make a chocolate torte, which is perfect for Valentine's Day, or for any occasion really, which is fabulous. So I'm just making sure we're good. That's why I'm checking my phone. I'm so sorry. If we're good, I'll just keep talking. Okay, good. Good. All right. So things are coming up like as a message. So I'm actually going to turn this so that I can see messages that come through. I'm going to turn it so we can see my face and that way I can see what's happening. Okay, fabulous. I'm just adjusting this angle and we will be in business. Thank you to everybody turning in. I appreciate it. Okay, fabulous. Now I can see, I can read comments, questions, fabulous. So we're going to make a chocolate torte. This is actually gluten-free and dairy-free, but if you don't need to be gluten or dairy-free, you can use sort of your non-substitute ingredients, which is fabulous. So, first thing, microwave-safe bowl. Okay, this is a one-bowl recipe, really easy. I'm going to start with 4 ounces of chocolate. I'm using Baker's chocolate. This one's unsweetened, super dark and rich if you're a dark chocolate person. This one is sweetened. I'm actually going to use this one because I love dark chocolate, but I want it a little bit sweeter. You can also use chocolate chips. You can use 1 cup of chocolate chips instead of one of these bars if you'd like. Your favorite chocolate chips, any of them will do. So, this whole bar is going to go into my bowl. I'm just going to break it up a little bit with my hands. And then I'm actually going to put in 1 stick of butter. I'm using my favorite dairy-free butter. This is Earth Balance, this one right here. But you can totally use regular butter, or if you want something that's not butter related at all, you can use half a cup of coconut oil. 1 stick of butter is half a cup. So, fun fact for the day. So, this whole stick is going to go into my bowl. And actually, this is one of the easiest parts. This whole thing is going to go in the microwave. I'm going to start for about a minute, mix it, and then if it needs longer, you can always go longer, but you don't want to go too long to start because you could burn the chocolate. So that's going into the microwave for a minute to start. Meantime, I'm going to talk about my other ingredients. The next thing I'm going to put in is a cup of sugar. That's right here, just regular old white cane sugar. Just 1 cup. If you like things, again, really dark chocolate, you can cut this back to 3/4 of a cup. Also, side note, I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. That's what I bake this at. So that's heating up. I also am going to use 2 eggs. I'm going to do a little thing right here. So one of my eggs is already cracked. Fun fact, you don't want to crack your eggs on the edge of a bowl. That actually gives you more of an angled incision type of thing, and the crack leaves you open to having more eggshells fall into your bowl. So you actually want to crack your egg on a flat surface, and then it cracks evenly every time. Look how even the crack is. Don't crack your eggs on the side of the bowl. Crack them on a flat surface. So, in a minute I'm going to pull that dish towel. Girl's best friend, clean up a little bit. I'm trying to be more of a clean cook. Anyone who's with me at Stetson knows I wasn't the most clean in the world. So, 1 minute was in. You can see that all the butter has melted, but the chocolate isn't fully melted yet. So I'm going to stir this for about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to put it back in for 30 seconds to finish melting the chocolate. Now, chocolate will continue to melt as it stirs, but I'm just trying to quicken the process just a little bit. And if anybody has questions they want to type and throw on in, you're welcome to. I'm trying to pay attention. Yes, the eggs are a great life hack. It makes cracking eggs so much easier, so much cleaner. If you're worried about shells too, you can do it into a little bowl first, so that way there's no shells potentially going into your whole batter or dough or whatever it is. You can do it into a little bowl first just to check. But if you're doing it on a flat surface, you should get a pretty non-jagged edge, which is great. So I've had about 30 seconds back in the microwave, and you can see now that the chocolate is just about fully melted. So I'm going to mix this till it's one mixture. Right now, it should look like a really thin chocolate ganache. That's what it's looking like, right? So it looks definitely thinner than melted chocolate because you've got the melted fat in there, which is the butter in this case. So I'm going to mix that just for about 10 seconds. You can see everything gets homogenized. Perfect. Next, I don't want to do the eggs right away because this is still hot. You don't want to do the eggs because they could potentially start to cook. So we're going to do the sugar first. This is 1 cup of granulated sugar. That goes in. And we're just gonna mix that up. You'll see that it starts to thicken the mixture as well as it starts to, the sugar granules start to absorb the liquid in the chocolate. So that's what you're gonna look like. And then you're gonna add, now that it's cooled down just a little bit with the sugar in there, 2 eggs that we did our beautiful job cracking. We're gonna mix that in. Make sure you stab the yolks. Yolks have an extra membrane around the outside of them. So you wanna stab them. That will help you emulsify things better. Eggs are a natural emulsifier. Emulsification means that something basically is suspended in something else. A lot of things you eat are emulsions. Mayo or salad dressing, emulsion, oil and water. Chocolate is an emulsion because you've got fat and you've got sugar. So emulsions are things that make one homogeneous mixture by blending them and breaking down those molecules so that they can be one mixture. So you can see that's starting to look fudgy. This is a very rich, fudgy chocolate torte. It's delicious. So this is where we are now. Next, I'm going to add in, this is half a cup of gluten-free all-purpose flour. You could do this with potato starch. You could do this with regular all-purpose flour. I'm using King Arthur 1-to-1 or measure for measure flour, but you could use any brand with this. This is not one that's super temperamental, and you only need half a cup. So that's going in. I'm also adding in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and a dash of salt. Salt brings out the chocolate flavor. It's absolutely vital in this recipe, and it's so delicious. So that I'm mixing up. And you can see as that starts to homogenize, I'm gonna add one other little flavor bomb. This is a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, not imitation. It's not worth the difference in price. Always pure vanilla extract. Mine isn't homemade, I'm not Ina Garden, but pure vanilla extract. So that goes in too. So now I'm just mixing that in. I'm slowly folding in the flour. I'm not trying to create air. This is not a light and airy cake. This is a dense, fudgy, gooey chocolate torte. So now we look like this, and to keep things a little bit extra fudgy, I do something a little bit unique. I'm actually gonna add 3 tablespoons of water. It keeps things dense and keeps it from rising or getting fluffy. If you have it on hand, I highly suggest doing 3 tablespoons of coffee. You have leftover coffee from the morning, throw it in. It's not gonna taste like coffee. It's just gonna bring out the chocolate flavor. So I'm just gonna get 3 tablespoons of water real quick, just from the tap. I saw a question about a dash of salt. A dash is typically a 1/4 teaspoon. That's what a dash is, for anyone wondering. So 3 tablespoons of water, and I want you to see the texture change because it's actually gonna make it more dense. The water is absorbing any excess starch, and that's what's gonna make a really fudgy, beautiful torte that's really sort of warm and gooey and dense in the middle and not light and fluffy like a chocolate cake. I'm a very unique individual in that I love chocolate. I love chocolate flavored things. I love brownies. Don't like chocolate cake. Don't like really chocolate ice cream. Very strange when it comes to chocolate. And you can see that this is really fudgy now. Almost looks like hot fudge. So that's our batter fully homogenized. Really simple to bake this. Torte sounds really, really fancy. It's not. It's just like a dense chocolate cake. So I actually just have a cake tin. This is just a 10-inch cake pan. That's all this is, really easy. I'm just gonna spray this real quick. Just whatever one you have. I'm gluten-free, so I always check that my spray doesn't have any flour added to it, but quick spray. Again, like I said, this is just your normal cake pan. You can get creative with this. If you have a tart pan, if you've got a heart-shaped pan for Valentine's Day, any of that will work with this. And I'm actually gonna put it on a sheet tray. I find it a little easier to keep it balanced, and I find in the oven it's more of an even displacement of your heat. So again, I get my mise en place bowls in the way. For anyone that's heard the term mise en place or anything like that, or mise, it means things in place. It's having all your ingredients ready to go. Makes life a lot easier. So I saw a question about souffle. We can work up to that. I don't think that's a class 2 type deal, but maybe class 5 or 6. So here's our batter going right in. Really fudgy, as you can see. I'm using a rubber spatula to make sure I get all of it in there and don't miss any. These are also great for, you know, looking at the excess. This batter does taste delicious as it is, I have to say. Okay, all of it is in here. You can see it settles really nicely. And I'm gonna put this whole thing in my 350-degree oven. This is gonna take about 20 minutes until a toothpick in the center comes out clean or just under clean. But I actually have one already made, so I'm gonna put this in the oven to bake, and I'm gonna get my other one that has been cooling so that I can show you how I serve it. So don't laugh, I'm gonna go off camera for just a minute because I live in Boston and it's cold, and the easiest way to cool down a cake, cupcakes, brownies, anything, is to put it outside. So my cake is on my balcony, my tort, so I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be back in a flash. I did see a question, favorite gluten-free things to bake. This is actually a recipe that I've got based off of my gluten-free brownie recipe, which is fabulous, and I've made them into all sorts of flavored brownies. I also really like to make French macaron, so those are those little sandwich cookies, but they're really finicky, so I love and hate them at the same time, because they're wonderful, but they're not easy to get right. So I'm coming right back. I'm grabbing my tort from the balcony where it's been cooling, because it's 30 degrees outside. I heard in Florida that there was even some frost on the ground this morning in Florida. So here's my tort. I baked this one in a little tart pan. Very cute, very easy. I'm actually just gonna put, I love the look of this pan. I'm gonna put this whole thing on my cake stand. This is actually a turntable, so it could spin. But I wanna show you guys how I top it. And it's really, really easy. So I'm actually just gonna grab some powdered sugar. I should have had that out in my music class. Give me 30 seconds. I'm grabbing it. I'm struggling today. It's fine. I've accepted it. Got it. Got some just plain old powdered sugar. Powdered sugar, for anyone wondering, is a sugar that's been pulverized with cornstarch. That's all it is. Give it a little bit of a different texture. And I'm going to get just a fine mesh little sieve. So that's this, right? And I'm just going to take a little bit of powdered sugar, maybe a tablespoon, and I'm going to pour it through this and make a mess. And I'm just going to dust it just really nicely over the top. So I've got that. And then if you want to be really decadent, you can go with a little bit of your favorite whipped cream. I do love making my own whipped cream, but this coconut one, this Ready Whipped coconut, is also fabulous. Big fan. I approve. So I'm going to do a little bit of this one on top. You could also serve this with vanilla and ice cream. It'd be delicious. You can serve it still warm, which is great. So right in the center, just there. And then, final touch, I'm going to show you how to make a fanned out strawberry. So here's your strawberry. Your whole strawberry. You're not cutting all the way through. You're cutting slices, but you're stopping about 1 centimeter before the edge. So just nice thin slices, but I'm not cutting all the way through the strawberry. I'm leaving the green end attached so that when I get to the end, ta-da, and that's your strawberry, and that is going to go right on the center of our tort. It's going to go right here. Beautiful, beautiful. Ta-da! And that's it. That's your tort. Look at that. Easy peasy. Marina, this is actually my favorite non-dairy one to buy at the store. This is Ready Whipped coconut. You can use regular Ready Whipped, or you can make your own whipped cream. I've got recipes for that, regular and dairy free. So coffee is the best secret ingredient in chocolate cakes. I saw that comment. So I know, easiest tort. Look at that. Who wants to come help me eat it? Because I have this one and I literally have a second one in the oven. So my dog can't eat chocolate. So this I got at my local grocery store. Most local grocery stores have this just next to the regular whipped cream because it's made by Ready Whip. It's made with their other ones. They also have an almond milk one as well. I just really like this coconut one. Trader Joe's also has a coconut whipped cream in a can. So that's my tort. Ta-da! Any questions? I'm so sorry if I missed any questions. I was sort of flying through. I'm like, see if I missed any questions. Thank you everybody for watching, by the way. That was very nice of all of you. I got the dash question. Okay, I think I've gotten most of the questions. Savory items, Paige, that's a great question. So I do a ton of savory cooking and baking. Paige is asking you great questions about biscuits. What was it like to watch yourself on TV? Okay, I'll get to that. The first question was savory items. Yes, I love baking savory items. I found that yeasted things like breads for gluten-free aren't great. If you're gonna do a bread, I find a quick bread, almost like a banana bread, but you can do it with savory elements, is fantastic. I also do a lot of like crostinis that get baked. I'm trying to get into my own crackers. And then I do a lot of like baked dips and things as well. So, okay, on television, thank you for watching, everyone. It's definitely been surreal because, so I was on Bakers vs. Fakers in 2017, and that was on the Food Network, which was super exciting. And ironically, my episode was called Donut Dilemma, which is super ironic because now I run a donut factory and we make thousands of donuts every day, which is insane. That was the irony there. And that was super fun, but that was national TV with an airtime. So watched it when it aired and recorded it, but people couldn't just like watch it whenever they wanted. This has been a really unique experience because it's on Netflix and people can watch it whenever they want. And people have a lot of thoughts. I get a little nervous because I know I talk a lot and I'm wicked competitive. Yes, I have moved to Boston, I say wicked. I know I'm wicked competitive. If you haven't watched Best Leftovers Ever, episode 5 yet, you should, but I do get competitive and feisty towards the end. I will always defend my food. I will always compete to the best of my abilities. I have no qualms with that. My only worry is if people can sort of make you look like villainous or rude or ungrateful, and never would I want to be that. But you open yourself up to do that when you're on television. I'm always sort of critical of how I look, how's my hair, what am I wearing, what am I doing, how do my knife skills look? But honestly, like, it's a blast. It's so fun. I think it's hysterical. I love coming up with sound bites, and I also really enjoy seeing what the producers and the editors choose to leave in. Funny story, when I did Bakers vs. Fakers, I talked about both my brother George, who went to Stetson, and my sister Lily, who's 17, and they cut Lily out completely. They did this whole big thing about George. They put up all these pictures of me and George, and they cut Lily out. And so Lily said to me this time, before the show aired, she said, if you don't talk about me this time, I'm disowning you. And I'm like, I don't choose it, the editors choose it. So they didn't really leave me there on them. They just left it in the line about my siblings being cheese addicts, which is true, which is hard when Derry and I aren't the best of friends and my siblings are total cheese addicts. But totally fun. I really enjoy it. I like getting other people's perspectives. And it's a huge learning experience. Oh, Lily's fine, Amy. Don't worry. She survived just fine. She's the baby. She gets everything she wants. Any other questions? Sorry I can't ship this to Florida. Yes, George also went to Stetson. He's married. My sister-in-law also went to Stetson. Lily's told us that she's like, I don't know about Stetson, and we're all like, Stetson, go, it's fabulous. Also, quick funny story, recently we work with a label company for our donuts, and we got a new account manager, and they introduced me. She was super nice, and she said, oh, my cousin's gluten-free. I'm going to send her some donuts. She goes to college in Florida. And I was like, oh, just out of curiosity, where does she go? Sure enough, she goes to Stetson. It was so funny. It was hysterical. It was absolutely, yes, this is my Stetson chef's coat. This is my Stetson Community Chef's coat. My senior year at Stetson for Acceptance Students Day, I actually ran a whole sushi station, and students could come and it was like, make your own sushi. You could pick what was in the roll, and I made it for hundreds of hungry students. What's my favorite thing to make? Oh gosh, savory or sweet? I'll do two. Savory, right now, I'm really, really into soups. It's wicked cold up here, and soups and stews are all that I've done. I mean, I do a ton of chicken soup. I've learned to make pho and ramen really well. And then I also do, I'm Jewish, I love a good matzo ball soup. Sweet, this brownie or torte recipe is fantastic. I'm really proud of it. I spent the entire fall of 2017 developing this recipe and making it really, really good. I'm watching my puppy in the background, making sure he doesn't like pee on the carpet while I'm here. I'll bring Baker on for an appearance in a second. My puppy's name is Baker, it's very fitting. Definitely shout out to Stetson Dining for this beautiful coat. I still have it 6 years later. Big fan, big fan. Favorite thing to bake? I really love decorating, like I love cupcakes and stuff like that, but I really, really love doing like pastry, like beautiful pastries, like cakesicles or macaroons that are so beautifully stacked, or meringues, or even like those hot chocolate bombs that went crazy viral, like making them look beautiful. That's what I love about it. And the science. Science is fun. I'm gonna grab Baker for an appearance because he's beautiful. Baker, come here. Come make an appearance on camera. This is my baby. This is Baker. He has a collar with donuts on it, and his leash also has donuts on it, and I'm very obsessed with him. Baker, what are you doing? Baker! Go play with your toy. Go play. He wants some chocolate tort, but he's not allowed. Any other questions? My other tort is still in there, baking away. I've got about another 10 minutes on it. Yes, Baker is very cute. I'm biased, but I agree. He's only 6 months. He's just really large. We grow him big in our family. Anything else? Okay. I'm super appreciative for people tuning in on a Friday night to hang out with me and make some chocolate. Now I get to eat it. This weekend I'm doing a custom unicorn cake for a 5-year-old little girl, so that'll be fun. So I'm gonna do that. Thank you guys for all your help. Shout out to Amy and Alex and Olivia and everyone. This was great. This is so fun. Happy Friday. Anything else? What will we cook with you next? I would take suggestions, honestly. Shoot me a message. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok on Molly's Plate. Post stuff all the time. Anything you want to learn, I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it. Yay. That it? Alright, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope everyone makes this. I will post a comment with this exact recipe as well so that you can make this anytime. And you can make this too. If you don't want to make it as a tort, you can make it in a brownie pan and slice it up as brownies still. Okay? Fabulous. Thank you guys so much. Much love to everybody. I love Stetson. Okay.